What is going on, YouTube? It is CutsbyCoast here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to do a high bald fade crop haircut, and let's dive right into it. So we're going to start balding him out with our Wahl detailer, and we are going to clean it up with the babyless trimmer and shaver per usual. And I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the 1K. My next upload will be my 1K giveaway video. Thanks, guys. So we're going to set in our first guideline with our clipper being the open lever, and we're going to set it about 1 inch high. And next we're going to go in with the lever halfway open. We're just going to flick up to the line we just created, but not trying to set in a harsh line. And then as you can tell, I just went ahead and took the lever all the way closed, bouncing at the bottom of that guideline that we set in. And when we set in all of our guidelines, we're just going to make sure that we keep it real consistent and just trust the process. So now we're going to take our trimmer and we're really just going to flick at the very bottom guideline where we set in our bald line originally. What you put it in with is what you got to take it out with. And I will always do this, but right here I am just cutting the color within that first guideline section. So now we're going to go in with the one guard and do the same exact steps, just flicking up to his weight. He doesn't like a whole lot of weight, so we just keep it at the bare minimum range, but we're not going to go any higher up. So we just took the one guard open and all the way closed. Now we're going to take the 0 guard and just make sure that we connect those two guidelines. And really the only reason why I call this a high fade instead of a mid fade is because what I did was I set in my sections and I just really stretched them out versus taking the shaver up too high on his head and making it look abnormal. Now that we have done our fade, we're going to go ahead and start with that blend area. And what we're doing is right here, I think we were taking a 2 guard open, but if we're not doing that, we're doing a 3 guard close, and we will keep working down from there. I did grab my 1.5 here, and that must be what I used just connect that fade in that blend area. So the part above his sidebars, they always give me a little bit of trouble. So what I'm doing right here is we're gonna do some clipper over comb, but we're gonna stack our guards. We're gonna go like 2, 1.5, and maybe even 1 open, flicking up into that right there. It just stays so dense. And this does not pertain to this client, but if you notice your clients that are thinning or receding, their hair always clumps right there in that area. So this is how I always take care of that. I always just stack my guards and hold that hair kind of out of the way, and just make sure that I'm flicking into it and not setting in any harsh lines. If you are still watching at this point in the video, go ahead and leave me a like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. If you really mess with me, turn on that notification bell. I will be posting 2 videos a week. I typically do Monday and Thursday, but I'm thinking about doing it a little bit more spread out and just dropping the videos whenever I feel like I need to. I know that Chris Basio drops like 4 or 5 videos a week. I know I'm not on his level, but I would like to do it that way so that if I miss one day, I have content to replace it. And I really slowed down and took my time on that first side. On this side, I didn't cut it a little bit faster. This is how I typically cut. I've just now recently started spreading out my appointments, and I'm gonna take a little bit longer just to see, like, now that I have my system down, if I can go back down and break it down and make every haircut truly the best haircut I feel like I can do. And I would advise all you guys to do the same. If you got time, don't rush it, but I typically did not have time, so I'm making time so that I can get better myself. So now we're gonna take the 1 guard. We're gonna do the same steps, just flicking up again. And this client right here, he pretty much get the same haircut we used to do. We used to do a mohawk. So that exact shape that's left with the hair under the bald line, we would just leave that and do the same like high fade. So this haircut is really nothing new, but it was a switch up for him to cut the back off. So that's pretty cool to see your clients change haircuts when they had the same one for, I mean, he's had hair for 3 years. But I'm gonna keep it real. This is probably the hardest texture of straight hair for me. You can tell around his crown and just the whole top of his hair, really. It doesn't want to lay in very well. So whenever I get him in my chair, I typically take a little bit longer and just try to take his hair insecurities and make them a positive. I mean, we just try to style it messy because it wants to stick up. And lastly, on this side, guys, we're gonna do a little bit of clip over combing using some bigger guards to transition the fade to the blend. And I left the back off because that was just a small sliver of a section. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the top. So you're always gonna saturate the hair and just get it completely wet. And I'm gonna cut about a quarter to a half inch of hair off on top. And I'm just gonna cut it even. I try not to point cut on his hair just because it already shows flaws. But if we cut it even, it's already gonna lay messy just because of the type of texture he has. So just make sure that you follow your guideline all the way back across the head. And instead of cutting his square, I really kind of rounded just a tad because his head shape is already kind of flat. So if it's got too much flat going on, it just kind of sits weird on his head. I've always tried to do that, but noticed that this was the better result for his head. And if you guys have made it this far, I do have t-shirts in stock up to 3X. They are a little bit tighter than I would like, so they're more polyester than cotton. So I would advise you to order one size up if you are a bigger dude. But I do have some. DM me at CutsbyCoast and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So right here, we're gonna get his hair a little bit more wet, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna cross check. And even though I've cut it perfectly even and cross checked it, it still lays kind of funny. And that's, like I said, that's just his hair texture, and unfortunately that's what he has to work with. So this is the best hairstyle I can come up with other than a comb over. And most people my age don't really like rocking a comb over. You know, it kind of adds some years to your life. I feel like everybody looks older with a comb over, but you know. And we are approaching the end of the haircut, guys. We're just gonna continue to finish up this top. If you guys did like this video, leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you that watches my videos. Thank you guys for getting me to 1K. I couldn't have done it without you. It's CutsbyCoast, and I'm out of here.